Very special guest in the building today. Former NBA player, man. This guy was the talk of the industry and is still doing big things. We want to give him his respect, but we're going to talk about some of the things he's been through and some of the things he has going on right now. Give it up for Mr. Greg Oden.
Let's go.
Yeah. What's up, bro?
I appreciate y'all having me here. This is a lot going on right now. I'm going to say shout out to Overtime Elite for bringing me out here to talk and mentor the kids. And it was just a good opportunity. I was here for a couple of days and got to see some good basketball, some good players, some good talent that they got going on there.
Yeah.
And I'm just happy that I can help and talk to the young kids.
I love to see the fact that you are still active in basketball, still active with the youth. You know what I mean? You talked about working with Overtime, but what are some of the other things that you have currently going on in terms of like basketball?
So I'm athlete advisor for EduCore Sports and Entertainment, where I teach financial literacy to athletes. You know, these kids are getting money with NIL a lot younger, and just, you know, a lot of us in our family, in our household, we don't talk financial literacy. We don't talk money. We don't talk budgeting, savings, paying taxes. So, you know, just to give kids that little bit of game and help them start thinking about that a little bit more often, because it is your money. You did make that money.
Because don't get it twisted, yo. I mean, the career didn't last as long as you would like, but you still got M's. You still got.
I know what you're talking about, sir.
I know. We all know. We looked it up. We ain't that right over there? Yeah, I ain't gonna look over there. He got some M somewhere.
Nah, but you're right though. Like, because I didn't expect my career to end as soon as it did, and so, you know, I was hoping to make $100 million too. But the money that you do get, you gotta take care of it and make sure you grow that in the time that you do play. So to give these kids the game and make sure that they take advantage of that while they can. I really like to talk to the kids about that.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely necessary. Just to go back to, for some of the people that may not be familiar, because we don't assume that everybody pays attention to everything that goes on in the NBA, you were the #1 draft pick 2007. Being the #1 draft pick comes with high expectations, and because of injuries in your first few years in the league, you know, ultimately it ended your career shorter than it should have been. I know that had to be tough on you. I know you were going through a lot of mental anguish during that time period, because all you want to do is get out there and ball, and then your body is not cooperating. Like what? And now we're talking, you know, this is a very important period, more so now than then, in terms of mental health. You know what I mean? So what were some of the things that you were just dealing with mentally, just kind of trying to fight through that situation?
Honestly, just trying to deal with myself, because I was still a young man, so I really didn't know who I was. You know, I felt like I let a lot of people down during that time, and it took me a while till after I was playing to kind of realize that my journey is my journey. You know, you got ups and downs, but I still got to poke my chest out and realize this was me. You know, I did get there, and I did become the #1 draft pick because of the things I put in, the time, the work, all the 6 a.m. workouts. You know, I put in that effort, but during that time, it was a lot. You know, I didn't know how to handle it as a young age. Like, one of my funny stories is, remember they was doing the 30 for 30s?
Yeah.
And remember Broke?
Yeah.
I'm sitting there watching Broke with my friends, and they like, yeah, you know, you can just go broke like Greg Oden because you didn't know you was going to get injured. I'm sitting there watching it like, wait, what? Wait, what? Y'all ain't tell me about this. I ain't get paid for that.
Right.
You know, so it's just a lot, you know, just going through it. But as a young man, you got to have some mentors in your life. You got to have people that can help you be grounded going through those tough times. And, you know, I'm happy I got out of it. And to be honest with you, I'm confident with myself now and who I am. Like, I'm the only one going through this journey. So, you know, I'm poke my chest out and realize that I was the man at one point, and I'm going to do everything I can to help the younger generation.
For sure.
To be honest with you, I don't really like the NBA right now. It sucks. The big man. No, because, man, I literally watch the NBA. If you go watch the NBA game, there's nobody in the paint no more.
Right.
Nobody literally in the paint.
That drives me crazy.
And it bothers me. Like, what would you do now in this? Would you think you'll be? I don't think you have any injuries right now. And
I wish.
I mean, for real, the way the NBA is set up, how do you feel about the big man game?
I think the NBA right now is some of the best players that's ever played right now. Because now you're looking at 7-footers bring the ball up the court. You're looking at 7-footers take 3-point shots like it's nothing. So before, when it was somebody like me only doing a 2-foot hook shot, yeah, he was good. He was dominant like a Shaq. But now guys can do that, and they can shoot threes, and they can handle the ball.
So you like it better now?
I do.
Oh,
But I think to Alton's point,
I just missed the body. I missed the physical. I know y'all got injured with it, but it was fun to watch.
I mean, it's still fun to watch, though. It's still fun to watch.
But it's frustrating. Here's a perfect example, right? Because I'm a Sixers fan, right? So I watch Joel Embiid play the game, and he will come down the court and throw up a three at any time. But the problem is there's nobody under the basket to get a rebound. There's nobody under the basket. Yeah, I'm like, if you could have 25 at the top of the three running the court, but you could have 45 if you took your ass in the paint.
Well, Shaq says that to him every Tuesday, Thursday, inside stuff.
Right.
But you tell me right now, a healthy Joel Embiid, he gonna take that three, then he also gonna go get the rebound and dunk on your head in the same play. So, like, what we talking about?
Yeah.
He needs to do it more often. I'm not Shaq. I'm not
right.
what to do. But when he is healthy, he is a great player. So, like, I think about a guy like Giannis who does, like, change the game and can do a little bit of everything. Like, those guys are they're taking the league to a different level right now.
Yeah. Speaking of Embiid, because he's somebody that, like I said, was kind of in your position. And now, as a Sixers fan, I'm watching the game like, all right, what's he playing every 10 games this season? You know what I mean? And I know there's been a lot of conversation about load management and whether or not players, even as they get later in their career, play every night. How do you feel about that? Do you feel like if there was a load management situation going on with you, your career could have been extended, or do you feel like, nah, this is BS, man? Get out there and play. The fans are looking forward to seeing you.
Well, I grew up and you can play when you can play.
Yeah.
But there's also a man out there that's doing it and has been doing it for 20 years, and he's still one of the best to ever do it. And his name is LeBron James. So when you see somebody like that that's leading the league, like, you need to take your ass out there and play. Now, don't get me wrong. If I'm making a couple $1 million and you tell me I can sit down every other day, I'm going to sit my ass down.
Really?
Like, I'm going to extend my career. I'm going to hold my knees. But And honestly, I wish I could say that about me, but I was on the load management. Like, for me, if I played in the game, I couldn't practice the next 2 days. If I practiced 2 days in a row, I'm probably not playing in that game.
Really?
Because I had to go through that with my knees and all my surgeries. But it's just different now, just because how guys play, how much is up and down, how fast the game is right now. You need to do that right now for a lot of these guys. But, you want guys to go out there and feel like, look, man, I put all this work in since I was a kid. I want to go out there and show my talents. I want to go play. I want to go give the fans what they came here for. Taking
basketball out of it, I feel like with guys your size, it's just a lot of on your bodies, period.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Just like everyday life. Like, you guys are tall for no reason. You know what I mean?
I was just about to say that was very disrespectful. I didn't know how to say that.
I'm joking with you.
You kind of mad. You still taller than him sitting down.
No, but in all seriousness, I know, like, a lot of times, like, people, you know what I mean? Especially, like, we hear a lot of comments from women that are looking for tall guys. But what are some of the downsides? What are some of the things that this is tough being your size?
It's expensive as shit.
Really?
I can't travel. Excuse my language.
You good? You good? Yeah.
But, like, you think about this, I physically can't fit in the coach seat. So every time I travel, I have to buy a first class or a bulkhead seat. Just doing little things. Like, we were somewhere the other day. I hit my head 6 times because I wasn't used to that building.
You ducked coming in the room. I saw that.
Every door I walked through, I ducked. No matter what. It could be a 10-foot door. I'm just ducking because I'm so used to it. When I was a kid, I used to hit my head all the time, not even thinking about it. So, it's not that bad, though, because, as you said, people are looking for a tall man.
That was a shot back. You caught that? But even like clothing and furniture and stuff like that, like, I know, like, for instance, you know what I mean? If you dealing with somebody that's in a wheelchair, they lower the counter sizes. Like, I'm assuming everything has to be raised for you.
Well, first off, DXL, big and tall, Polo, holla at me, because they're only ones for the tall and skinny brothers. Everything else is big and tall, but they don't really get the tall and skinny. So, finding clothes is definitely tough, but, Nike's been hooking me up for a long time.
And you gotta buy your woman a ladder to get head, because she got to climb up.
I'm gonna tell you this right now. My wife don't need no ladder. She gonna pull me down to her side.
Does that present challenges? Going crazy.
My bad. That was a crazy question, man.
It's a great
But I don't know why my mind went there. Like, she got to reach up there to grab.
Does that prevent challenges in just lifestyles between you and your wife? Just size differences?
No, not at all, because we together. You know, we as one when we together.
Yeah, that's dope. That's dope.
What's your biggest regrets, man, in your career?
I think at a young age, going through my ups and downs and just being a young gentleman, not knowing how to handle all that, I think I would have listened to a lot more people and actually took advice and actually put in more work when I was injured. Like I like to tell these young kids, when you're injured, you need to grow your game. Like, you know, if I can't go out there and physically go play, work on my jump shot, be a better shooter at that point, you know, just trying to grow as a person, read more books, do the little things like that to grow as a human being while you're not able to do the thing that you're supposed to do.
Yeah, for sure. I think I read somewhere or I saw somewhere that even when you were younger, people didn't believe your age. So your mom had to bring like birth certificates to like games and stuff to prove it.
Yeah, I mean, when you see
That's crazy, right?
A 6'7", 6-year-old or a 6th grade year old walk in, you like, no.
You gotta sit down. Ain't no way.
I'm in 8th grade with a beard. They like, hold on now. Like, what we talking about?
I know that had to be difficult too, just on a social level sometimes with kids your age.
Well, ask that question again.
I said I'm wondering, was it difficult dealing with kids your age and you being that size at, you know, the NBA and being an adult is one thing, but when you're middle school, you know what I'm saying, in high school and stuff like that, did you have any issues there?
I did not, because one thing I was blessed with, I was able to be a young man. I was able to be a kid and grow into myself. I had friends around me that let me be me, that knew that, you know, even though I look like this, I'm still a young kid.
For sure.
We still growing together. We still learning together. So I was blessed with that, and I really do appreciate that. And I was a big TV guy. Like, one of my favorite stories is when I first met Mike Conley, senior and junior in the 6th grade, you know, my Speece Indy Heat team, they all came. It was like 7 of them.
Nice.
They came over. It was like, look, we want you to play for the AAU team. And they were like, you want to go play in this grown man's league? And I looked out the door and I was like, nah, it's Saturday. I'm watching cartoons.
Yeah, I'm trying to do kids stuff. Right.
No, I'm good. But, you know, but actually, you know, my mom giving me that, you know, letting me be a kid and letting me grow and learn and not speed up that process, which a lot of these kids these days don't have the opportunity to, because they're 14 years old making $100,000. You know, they're making more money than their parents at some point. You know, they're looking at being the breadwinner of the household. But I was blessed that I was able to be a kid.
You're getting NIL deals at 14 in high school? Is that what you're saying?
They are.
Man, overtime is really changing the game. Like, I don't know much details about it, but there's a lot of kids like skipping, like even playing in high school to play in overtime league, and they getting all these NIL deals. And then, so how do you feel about that? Do you get a little jealous?
I'm definitely jealous. But these kids need to get paid. I mean, they deserve it. All the work that they put in, you know, if you can, you know, show yourself, be the person that you are, and make some money for you at this young age, because, you know, as you said, you don't like basketball right now, but you watch. So who's going to pay for it?
Yeah,
like, you know, you got to pay for that. You know, and for a long time, a lot of kids played, and all they was waiting to was get to the league.
Yeah.
But all these people went to all these games, bought all these jerseys, and these kids didn't get one dime from it. The colleges got all that money.
Right, for you.
You know, so I appreciate the kids getting paid now, but I just wish there were more people making sure that these kids are right, taken advantage of, and actually being able to grow this money, not just come in and agent saying I need 50%.
Right.
No, I'm a 15-year-old kid. I don't know nothing about that.
Right.
But no, treat these kids right and do what you're supposed to do.
Now that's the upside, but I would think that the downside might be like if you're already getting all this money, you know, high school, you know what I'm saying, ages, and it's affecting the college game and then ultimately the NBA. You know what I mean? Because if I end up making $20 million before I even get to college, maybe I'm like, all right, I'm good. I'm not even going to the NBA. You know what I'm saying? Or how do you see it affecting the college game and the NBA game long term?
Well, one thing I hate that fact, because there is going to be a lot of kids that don't make it because they are getting paid a little bit earlier, so they're not going to push themselves. They're not trying to get to that ultimate goal. But the one thing I see in college with NIL and the transfer portal is, You think about this, when a kid transfers, he drops out of second semester.
Mm-hmm.
If he does that 3 times in 4 years, which this is the last year that COVID year is added. So this is the last year you get 5 years if you wanted to.
Okay.
But if you transfer 3 times, that 4th year, you don't have enough credits to graduate. And now you've been doing the money grab, and do you realize you got to pay taxes in all those schools and states that you went to? So now you owe Uncle Sam, and you don't have your degree when you graduate. So I really think that these kids really need to think about that, and you need to go to a school where there's a coach that believes in you, that's going to pour into you, it's going to help you with that situation. Because as I said earlier, we don't grow up in that situation. We don't talk about those every day at dinner.
There's going to have to be some sort of balance there.
Yes, sir.
I think it's a blessing and a curse at the same time, because I love LeBron and I love what he's doing with Bronny, but I don't feel like he will be in that place if he didn't have the fame, because I personally don't feel like the skills is there, quite there. But you had the same thing with Lonzo Ball. I think he went first. I don't think the skills, but because of the marketing and all that, and the following, I think he got that opportunity. How do you feel about the LeBron and Bronny situation?
I mean, there's nepotism in this building right now, but when LeBron do it, it's a problem.
Yeah.
Why? Why can't we do it now? He's best player in the game. Why can't he do it? Yes, he's gonna get his son on his team. Why would you not? And if he can be there, shoot, I'm gonna bring my son too. I just feel like if he has that opportunity, he's going to take it. But I think Bronny, once his dad retires and he gets to be his own person, that's when he's going to grow too. Because from a young age, I always thought Bronny was one of the best point guards, because when I watched him play, he always made the right decision on the floor. So I think that's going to bring him to that level. I think that's why he's there.
I got to ask you too, because I'm gonna go to this question. GOAT. Who is your GOAT? Because you played with one of the GOATs. I feel like he's my GOAT when you played in Miami. I want to ask you, who's your GOAT first, then I want to ask you, how was that experience?
Well, my GOAT, excuse me, technically is David Robinson. He was my favorite player growing up.
Okay.
I love the San Antonio Spurs.
Yo, but I love that answer, because he never gets recognized. He never gets recognized.
But you got to understand, you asked that GOAT question, my GOAT is my GOAT.
Right.
Who do you tell me? Just because I love Jordan too. I love LeBron. I think LeBron's going to go down as the greatest player in history. I think Kobe if Jordan is 1A, Kobe is 1B. Like, what are we talking about?
Yeah.
But LeBron's going to go down because of his longevity and everything he's been doing for this long and dominating the game. But also you got to throw Steph in there. You throw Magic and Larry in there. So when I go Magic, Larry, Kobe, MJ, Bron, and Steph, these are 5 people that actually changed the game. Like now, when a kid comes on the court, he never shot basketball in his life, but he's shooting a half-court 3.
Yeah, right.
Trying to be like Steph. My daughter will sit over there, and me, I'm like MJ, but when she throw away a piece of trash, she Kobe.
Yeah.
She used to say that all the time. So these are people that impacted the game so much. So those are the GOAT talks to me. But also as a big man, like I know Wilt Chamberlain, I know Bill Russell, I know Shaq. Like these guys, like to me, mean a lot. But personally, David Robinson's my GOAT.
And you played with him, so how was that experience in Miami?
Played with, man, it was awesome. Brian's one of the best people I've ever met in my life. I mean, to see the work that he put in, being the best player every day, didn't miss practice unless he, was injured for something. But, seeing how hard he worked, staying after, getting up extra shots, like literally seeing that and seeing the professionalism of Miami and that Heat culture, I was just happy to be a part of that team. I just wish we could have won that championship.
How hard was it to be in Miami, though, playing ball? All right, we'll worry about that later. Don't worry about it.
I'm not going to lie to you. When I was there, I gave myself a rule. I was like, you can only go to South Beach once a week. And that's the beginning. I couldn't. I just couldn't because I was scared. And I didn't want to mess up that team. They just won 2 championships back to back. I wanted to win one. I just didn't want to mess up what they had going on.
Did you make it to D Wade's statue unveiling?
I did not.
Oh, man. Okay. Well, I guess there's some follow-up for that.
Did you like the statue?
I did not.
We were trying to get there.
Hey, I'm going to put it like this. I ain't got a statue.
Right.
So who are we to say something?
Yeah, for sure. Damn, man. So expand on that a little bit. Like, they just won the 2 championships. You want to come on and you want to continue that legacy. And everybody knows that LeBron came out and said 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all of that. And now you're a part of that, trying to continue that. And ultimately it didn't happen. What was the vibes like? Was it a big letdown? Was it something that was just, well, we already got 2, so the team didn't matter? Or how did you take it personally?
I mean, to me, it was one of the biggest letdowns because I ain't getting me a championship ring.
Yeah.
But, I mean, you know, you go out there, you play to win. And to be honest with you, if y'all remember the year before when Ray Allen hit the shot and then they ended up winning, like, I think the Spurs and the NBA actually brought the finals championship on Miami's court before Ray Allen hit that shot. So, like, they were actually roping off the court for the Spurs to celebrate. And so when they lost that, I think that next year they had a vendetta. They was like, oh, I'm getting this back.
Right.
I mean, we lost. I think it was like 4-1. Like that was like Bron actually, you know, he took over a game. And I love to say this, you know, no disrespect to Kawhi, you know, he was MVP. I give him that all day, but we would be up by 5 or 3. And then Manu Ginobili would come in the game, we'd be down by 15.
Yo, Ginobili was crazy, bro. He was nuts with it.
He was amazing. You know, Tim Duncan, you know, if David Robinson's one of my favorite players, Tim Duncan is right there.
Yeah. Do you wish Bron would have stayed in Miami during that time period?
I mean, that's up to him, you know.
But you never felt like, I mean, you get a chance to play and work with a guy like that. You know what I mean? Sometimes as fans looking in, you know, there's a lot of controversy about players staying together and being able to root for a team as a unit, and then people keep jumping around and stuff like that. So I always wonder from a player standpoint, like, damn, I want to continue to play with this guy. I want to keep that camaraderie. I understand the opportunity to go where you want to go, but sometimes I feel like I would want to stay on the same team with Jordan. I would want to stay on the same team as Kobe. I might want to stay on the same team with Bron.
Well, I mean, Bron had to be his own person. Bron wanted to make his own legacy, and the fact that he actually went back home and got a championship for Cleveland, I think that was one of the most amazing things. Yeah. But I think one thing that a lot of people don't talk about is, remember when he first went to Miami? Bron even said it, and people don't talk about this. He said, I'm a kid from Akron. I played for Cleveland. I've never left. This is the most uncomfortable thing I had to do to get what I wanted. And then he went back home and he brought that championship to him. So I commend him for that, for making a decision for him.
Yeah,
I feel that. Speaking of the Heat, before you even joined the team, there was a period where you weren't, you know what I mean, playing that 3-year period before you got to the Heat. What was that time period like for you? What were you going through during that time period? And how did you end up going from there, transitioning to actually being on the Heat?
That was a dark time for me because rehabbing, working out, didn't know what was going to be next. But all I knew is that I still wanted to play basketball. So every day going to rehab and making sure my body was right, and it took 3 years for me to get my body right.
Given everything you have been going through,
It was tough, but, you know, that motivation, that resilience that I found in myself actually makes me proud when I think about that, because I didn't know if I was going to get another contract. I didn't know if I was going to play basketball again, but all I know, I had to make sure I was right and ready to get there. And then going to the Heat, like, I mean, it was between Dallas and Miami, and they had me in Miami for 5 days, and I was like, where the contract at?
Hey. Dallas who?
No, don't get me wrong. I love Mark Cuban and everything that they do there. Like, I literally, like, that was opportunity. That was something I was really thinking about, you know, with Dallas. But when
you'd have been over there with Josh Howard and them boys.
Yeah. Dirk was on it. Dirk actually texted me and actually talked to me before then, and I'm such a fan of that organization, and Mark Cuban, I got nothing but respect, who also went to Indiana University. So I'm going to throw that out there. So
I want to, because we talked about this off air, but I want you to talk about the 4 microfracture surgery on your knee, and you had a broken kneecap. And you said something, I'm going to let you say it to us, but you said something, you would have did something different about that.
Well, for one, you know, after the 3rd time, so when I first got in the league, before my first game, microfracture on my left knee. Played a 1.5 years, broken kneecap. Coming back from that broken kneecap, microfracture on my right leg. Rehabbing from that, another microfracture.
Oh.
Rehabbing from that. When that doctor walked in and was like, "You got missing cartilage," I looked at him and said, "Fuck out of here." I laughed in his face. Like, excuse my language again.
Come on, man.
Yeah, go find more cartilage. What are we talking about?
I got them cartilages. That boy's missing.
No, but like, you know, I really wish I would have probably had, you know, different options. Just knowing what I know now, you know, they don't really even do that surgery anymore. So, but I mean, who was I? I was a 21, 22, 23-year-old kid that didn't know much. And I was just listening to the doctors and the people who knew more than me.
Well, you thought knew more. They practicing and probably didn't know shit.
Hey, look,
Go find my
am
cartilage.
I didn't go to school to be a doctor. So all I knew is what the doctor was telling me. And I tried to listen. I tried to be the best person I can be. But, you know, it's my journey. I went through it, and I am where I am right now because of that. You know, that journey is going to make me a better person, hopefully a better husband and a better father because of that.
Any regrets? No regrets?
No regrets?
I'm asking. Any regrets?
Can't have no regrets.
Right now, no.
That's what I'm
Look, because it made me the person who I am. And as I said earlier, look, I can walk around here sticking my chest out. I'm happy through the experience that I went through, and I'm just proud to be the person I am right now.
That's what's up. Listen, man, your story is definitely one to be shared and inspirational for a lot of people that are maybe going through ups and downs and whatever their careers may be. And it shows how you could come out on the other side and still be good, still follow your passion, still live your life to the fullest. You know what I mean? So many people get caught up in this one thing and feel like my whole life is this. Yes, and when that doesn't work out, then they find themselves in a position where they're down and out. But you're showing that it doesn't have to be that. So
you got to keep on moving, keep on growing. Just try to be the best person you can be. You know, we all have heard that. Just try to be 1% better each day.
Yeah, we commend you, bro. Appreciate you coming in and sharing your story with us, man.
You got to get that book out. You got a book coming or something? You got to write a book.
You got a ghostwriter?
ChatGPT, do it.
ChatGPT. Oh, man. Hustlers, man, we appreciate this brother joining us today, man. Greg Oden in the building. Thank you so much, man.
Thank you guys for having me.
Yeah, for sure.
We are the Morning Hustle.